Hi, this is Fran with Stampendous, and I want to feature the Quilt Hugs, which is a clear set that you see here. This is how it looks on the index, and also the Button Blossoms, and they each have some real fun messages with them. So as you can see on this one, you can have friends or like quilts, lives pieced together, stitched with smiles, colored with warm memories. And you can also, by the fact that they're separate pieces, you can make it families or friends. On this one, you have grandmas, or like buttons that hold things together. It could also be moms or friends. So you can see how they're designed to connect there and give you several different combinations. So let's take a look at some fun things that we can do with these stamps. So the messages are separate, and if you want to stamp just the large quilt on your A2 card, this is how it fits, and you've got just the little edge around the side, and you might just leave it like that, or if you decided you wanted to stamp it a second time, again, sometimes it's helpful to have the empty index to kind of study what else you could do. And since we had the border around on that side, if I were going to stamp it again, I would probably move it down to where it just came with a distance apart down here at the bottom. But because it's perfectly straight, you can line it up like we did here to stamp it several times. And again, it's better to overlap a little bit than to have a gap. But if the gap is easier, then you can continue it and it will just look like mini squares. So let's try a couple other things with it here. I wanted to see what it would look like on top of a print, and I chose something that was a pretty simple print. So let's see what it does to kind of have the dot pattern underneath it all. And you might have paper a little bit bigger than you need, and in case you go crooked, then you can trim something away. But actually that's quite fun. And if you wanted to have a different message that you wanted to really stand out, because it's all straight lines in here, you could cut out just that section and stamp a different message on it. So that kind of gives you some fun options. And then if I were to come back in with just a little bit of color pencil work, I could probably enhance things just a little bit. Let's say I decided I'm using my color pencil on an edge, and if I just ran it on the sides right against the line, it might give me the illusion of a little bit more of a puffy section to each of my little printed areas. So yeah, if you did that all the way around, that would be really fun. And of course you could just stamp a message of your choice into that middle section. Okay, and then I wanted to show you another concept that I haven't finished, but I got it started to keep, oh here, okay, here's actually one where I did stamp it with that distance between, and then I dropped the stamp on it. That's why it looks a little bit funny there. But anyway, let's proceed with this. So what I did, I took the same design and stamped it on several different colors of paper. I got a color scheme going here that I thought would be fun and give me a little bit more contemporary look. It doesn't always have to be pastels or country color scheme. So here were my Cheery Brights. I stamped on each one, and I cut it with my straight edge, my slide cutter, so that I had perfectly straight lines all the way through. And then I did one on yellow, and I've been cutting that one apart too. And I wanted you to see it in stages here. because what you have to do is start with an outside edge. You can get a straight cut there, and then you can get a straight cut there before you can cut the rest of the way there, and you just kind of have to work your way around. But my thought was that if I cut each of these different colors, if I cut out all the pieces, then I could make 4 different cards. And I'm leaving one intact so that it's easiest to plan out, and I can simply glue the pieces down on top, and that holds them together a lot easier. So I can decide how many of the yellow pieces I use on this card, and I probably get a base for each one going so that I can mix and match the pieces to come out even with the different colors. And I wanted to use this as an opportunity to show you in the set you also have a little cluster of flowers and another single flower. And with these patterns, you can stamp a pattern into that open area if you need or want it when you're filling in. So like here's an area where I filled in since I only needed the message up here. So filling in that pattern, let me give you a couple different ways to do it. And here's one where I had one piece of the purple so far. So I have this in stages just to make it quick. So here's one option, simply putting some straight edge, and I did a sticky edge all the way around. It let me do all of the stamping of the flowers just any which way and off the edges and fill it in pretty solid. And then I thought while I had all of the sticky paper in place, I would do some sponging to enhance that area. And again, you could do other shading simply by covering up, one section here or there. And if you like that look, you can do that with your sponging. Or you can go back to your color pencil approach and just using that on the side, you could create a sense of a little bit puffier. Let's do that one on this, and this will give me a lighter shade of purple anyway. Okay, so now it begins to look like each little piece is kind of puffy. So anyway, that gives you some fun ways to do that. And you have the larger flower here, and here you're seeing the smaller flower. So you've got, and you can combine them any way you like. Then I wanted to take a look at this one. So if you wanted to create a gift wallet, you would start by die cutting your paper, and then you know what you've got to work with, and then stamping whatever combination. With this one, I got right up to the straight lines, and you can go with that approach, or if it's easier, you can do that little bit of spacing in between and stamp on whatever dimension you need to create your gift wallet on this one. And then with this one, and again, instead of doing all of the coloring or having to work that much, with color, just doing different colors of ink on different colors of paper really gives you a nice look. So this one, I haven't quite put it together yet because I want to open it and show you how I got to the finished look. So the Wrapping You in My Love made a kind of a fun idea of having this open as a gate card. And my little ribbon holds it together, but I can slide it on and off. So here's my card. So with this one, I started pretty much in the corner, but I intentionally went off the edge a little bit. So if I was a little bit crooked, it would be more forgiving. And then you can keep turning it so that you have different patterns coming together. And the spacing in between is the easiest. And again, I tried to line it up going that way. And since this is the back of the card, I don't really need to worry about that. And I was more focused on what would be seen on the front flaps and that it would line up this way. Okay, and you could have turned it either way. You could decide to cover that with the ribbon if your area where it came together wasn't too even. And this one I did trying to line it up touching, and so where I was off a little bit, I decided to turn it over, make this the inside, and I'm going to do some more sponging, and even that is just enough to kind of finish it off. And then I thought it would also, let's see, I'm going to put a panel on the inside for my little message. And I thought this idea would make a really cute baby announcement for a little girl. And you could use your alphabet to say welcome and have their name inside. And since this will cover through the middle, I thought the easiest way would be to do a little bit more stamping. We'll use the same color of, this was the Charming Pink VersaFine Clair. So it's nice to have these little stamps as fillers. And it kind of squares off. And if it matters, you can turn it around. It lines up a little bit better if you turn them. And we might as well do the bigger flower up here at the top. I'm on tilt. We'll put our little card up a little bit higher, and there, that works fine. Okay, and then I'm using my little dauber system here to add some more color on the inside. So if you want to have it bolder pink on the inside and keep it simple on the outside, that's up to you. And when you put this together, you'll just put adhesive on one side so that it will open connected, stay connected that way. And then the ribbon will slide back on and you don't have to tie it twice. How's that? So you can have a lot of fun with the buttons, and you could actually put some real buttons onto your cards as well to finish it off. These I cut out and just popped them up, but you can have a lot of fun with buttons. And this one I did as a little center step card, and it fit perfectly for my wavy frame. And this little stuff was soft and fuzzy, so I decided to add that on. It's rather bizarre, but fun. So anyway, you can make lots of caring cards for friends where quilts and hugs are needed.